I've been grating orange peel because I like to have a lot on hand, but I'll just show you real quick. This is the hole that I use. There's a smaller hole and there's a larger hole. So if you're lucky and you have a small hole, you don't want something that's so small that it looks like mush. You want to have little fine lines in your peel. You just need a little bit of orange peel. Now I have a lot here because I'm going to freeze it and use it in cakes and cookies and breads during the holidays. I always recommend that people do grate their lemons, their oranges, their limes, and save it in the freezer. It doesn't freeze really hard. Just don't freeze it in a big ball. Sort of flatten it down in a zippy bag, in a freezer zippy bag, and you can always break some off and use it whenever you need it. I'll show you how much I have here. I have quite a bit actually. It's probably a quarter cup. So I'm going to freeze some of that. I'm only going to use about a teaspoon or two in my cranberry. When you freeze your orange peel, just flatten it out in the bag. And then when you need some, it will be very easy to open up your bag and just pull some out. It'll defrost in a heartbeat. For my cranberry sauce, I'm going to use a nice heaping teaspoon. This is a teaspoon, a nice heaping teaspoon for my 2 bags of cranberries. I just sliced my oranges in half, and this is what I found. I swear these are oranges. They're orange. They look like grapefruits. Very strange. Just thought I'd share that with you. I need to have 2 cups of juice. That's 2 cups and a little more because I want to taste it. See how sweet it is? I didn't cut those ones that look like grapefruits. I tried a little piece of one. Didn't taste like an orange. I'm going to wash these cranberries. I'm not sure how much I have here. I'm going to measure out 4 cups for each recipe. And since I'm doubling it, I'm going to end up, of course, with 8. So I'm going to go ahead and just go through these berries, see if I see any that need to be pulled out, and then we'll measure them. If you just pull them up and take a look, you'll see some that just need to be taken out. Sometimes you'll see little stems. They do a lot better of taking stems off of things than they used to. But you can feel ones that are soft. You can see them. Just run just for a while. Don't get crazy about it. I'm going to go ahead and just use them all. Okay, we'll get the rest out in a minute. I'm just stirring it. I'm just stirring this until it comes to a boil. When you make cranberry sauce, you want to use a container, a saucepan, that is going to allow all of the contents to boil up to twice the amount of what you have. So your container has to be pretty large. This is just starting to come to a boil. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add, this is my 8 cups of cranberries. And we're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to save the orange peel until it's pretty much cooked. So I'm getting some jars ready for my cranberries. I like to give some away. Now, if you do give cranberry away and you use a canning jar to do it, you give them a gift that is in a canning jar. If you haven't actually processed what's in the jar, be very careful because someone might think that you can put it up on on the shelf in the pantry, but actually it will need to be refrigerated because the contents of the jar were never processed. So my recommendation would be really is that if you're giving it as a gift, to put it in a bowl and cover it, or put it in a plastic container with a lid, something that doesn't look like a processing jar. So as you see now, this is boiling up. As soon as it completely boils up, it will go back down, and then that's when you really want to start taking a look at it to see if it's done. And that foam will also disappear. As it's cooking, occasionally just run your flat bottom wooden spoon against the bottom of the pot, just to make sure it's not sticking. And remember, it's going to get thicker as it cools, so you don't want it to be too thick. I'm going to turn this off now because it is so close to being done that what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. Go ahead and put your orange peel in. Just get that in there evenly, and now you're ready just to fill whatever container you're going to use to store this in the refrigerator. I put a little bit on a plate, and I'm going to put it in my freezer just for a couple of minutes. This is the cranberry sauce that was in the freezer for a couple of minutes, and it just looks beautiful. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it back to the pot. Oh, that smells so good. If you can get one of these little funnels for canning, it really helps keep the lids of your jars clean. Just go ahead and start filling your jars or your containers. And you don't have, I'm not going to worry about how full I make this because I'm not processing it.